Hi, my name is Mark and I teach economics. I'm sitting in the middle of a hurricane right now. My goodness, it's a Florida homegrown hurricane coming up from the Caribbean. Evidence seems different. You don't see this hurricane, you don't feel it, but all the models, all the mathematical models, the European models, the American models, they predicted a hurricane right now. I don't understand it. They said with reasonable certainty we are going to be hit in this St. Augustine, Florida with a hurricane. Maybe not the full impact, but we're going to feel it. My point is, the Federal Reserve bases your life, steering the macroeconomy, on mathematical models. If the weather man can't even predict the weather 3 days in advance with all the scientists on a hard physical science like meteorology, how would you expect the Federal Reserve to predict the future and steer the economy on a yearly, 5-year basis or whatever they contrive? It's ridiculous. The Federal Reserve is ridiculous, and I don't use that term lightly. They're excellent, actually, collecting data. If you go to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, you'll see a lot of aggregated time series data connected to the PCE or the CPI or whatever definition they think they should be looking at for your personal life to depend on inflation. But for predicting models, I think they have some ways to go and they shouldn't be in that business. For example, even the idea that inflation is connected at lower levels, lower bounds, with slower GDP growth. You have people like Irving Fisher in 1933, Ben Bernanke in 1998. You have Paul Krugman, well actually it's Bernanke in 95 and Krugman in 98, all saying that this is connected phenomena and this is how we should steer the Federal Reserve. But then you have other people, other academic empirically researched studies, like Salerno in 2003, Atkinson and Kehoe in 2000, it looks like 9. You have Risick and Skinel, these are guys from Czechoslovakia in 2008, showing in the lower bounds of inflation, there's no correlation. And yet the Federal Reserve is targeting these aggregated time series data measures of the PCE to steer the macroeconomy and determine your life. So I submit that the Federal Reserve is nonsensical. I used to love classical music, and I still do, and then I was into house music, then I was into reggae music for a while, and I'm into all kind of music. How in the world can I even know what my preferences are tomorrow, let alone the Federal Reserve knowing the time preferences and personal preferences of millions and millions of people in the United States of America, or the ECB, the central bank in the European Union? Humans are changeable and subjective, much more than the weather, much more than meteorologists and predicting scientific phenomena. Economics is a social science where we're studying human beings and subjective value and valuations and preferences and likes and dislikes. I mean, ask me tomorrow what kind of mood I'm in. And this is what the economy is about. Maybe economics can make econometric operations research time series, ordinary least square models when you're looking at the price of potatoes. And if you know my channel, I grow potatoes. But this is not something that we can entrust the government with. They got involved in, I believe it was after the 2007, it was the 1907 bankers crisis, and they got together in a small room and decided we should steer the economy. How did that work out? We had the Great Depression, the Great Recession, the dot-com bubble. And now we've got this sliding inequality because of the first receivers and last receivers of money. It's another discussion. But again, if I'm in a hurricane right now, then I think the Federal Reserve should take control, provide liquidity, etc., etc. But if I'm not in a hurricane right now, I'm in my pink flamingo shirt sitting outside by my sugarcane garden, and it's a beautiful day, And then I think the Federal Reserve should be reconsidered. It should be deconstructed and turned into just simply an empirical data collecting agency. Leave a comment below if you think the Federal Reserve should stay in business and they're doing a great job stimulating the economy, or leave a comment if you don't think so. But either way, subscribe. Thank you very much, and have a great day. It's certainly beautiful here.